Okay, this is an instructional video about rise over run. And I'm going to go over some vocab and learning goals. So first, the learning goal is to compute the slope from the graph of a line. Slope is the number that describes the steepness and direction of a line. The slope of a vertical line is undefined. Absolute value, the size of a number regardless of its size. Steepness, how quickly a line goes up or down. And M stands for slope, change of y over change of x equals rise over run. And the formula, which we aren't going to be using, but I want you to start to get familiar with it. y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus y1. Minus x1, excuse me. All right. So, and then to go over absolute value is used to calculate steepness. So what does it say? It's how quickly a line goes up or down. Okay. So example, when we look at a line, a number line, and you start at 0, and you can go 1, 2, 3, and you can go positive, or you can go -1, -2, -3. The distance from 0, from 3 to -3 is the same, whether it's negative or not. So the absolute value is 3, and this bracket stands for absolute value. Now, when we've already gone over m equals rise over run equals change of y over change in x, and this is the rise going up the y-axis. The run is on the x-axis. Going down the y is negative, and going to the right on the x-axis. So going up to the right is positive, and going down is negative. Okay? So here we are. We have the first one. We're going to decide the slope. I've already put the scale on, and I put 2 points for the first one, so we can start. So we go over 2, up 2. We go over 6, up 4. So here we are. We want to know, how do we get the slope? So here's the point. And you do rise or rise first. So you're going to go up, and then you're going to go over. Okay? So we have, and each square is worth 1. So we have 1, 2, and then we have 1, 2, 3, 4. So the slope, the change over y over the change over x, and the direction is positive. Now, the steepness, I'm going to simplify this to 1/2 or 1/5. So when you do the steepness, and you're going to find when you have to say which one is steeper, sometimes you're going to want to use the fraction, or sometimes you're going to do the decimal. So the steepness is either 1/2 or 0.5. Okay? Now the next one, I think the colored pencil shows it better. So we're going to do 4 over 1. And then we're going to pick this point, which is 2. We go over 2. We go up 4. And we are going to go down 1, 2, 3. And we're going to go over 2. So when you go down, it becomes -3. And when you go over, it becomes 2. Now, if I had gone to the left, it would be -2. But going down is -3, and going to the right is positive. So the rise is -3, or the change in y, and the change in x is 2. The direction is negative. And having a negative in front of one of these numbers also helps you understand it's a negative. So here's the steepness. And so remember, it's irregardless of the negative number. So 3 over 2. Now, if we wanted to do 3 divided by 2, it becomes 1.5. Okay? So again, you can do either way. Now, we have the next line, and this will be 2, 3, or we can do, let me get it up so you can see it, or we can do 5, 3. Now, this is a vertical line, and a vertical line is undefined. So we have this in our notes over here. The vertical line is undefined. So this is not vertical, it's horizontal. So the change, it doesn't rise or run, so that's 0. And underneath, it goes 3. So we're going to do 3. So the direction is horizontal, which we call a 0 slope, and the steepness is 0. Okay? A vertical slope, and I hope I didn't confuse when it goes up and down, and that is what's undefined. Okay? Now, I'm going to pause it for a minute, and I want you to flip it over and see if you can do the back side. Okay, let's see how you did on the back. All right, so I plotted 2 points, 0, 0, 4.5, and it went, rise was 5, and the run was 4, or we can say the change over y was 5, and the change over x was 4. So it's 5 over 4, and it equals 1.25. The direction is positive, and the steepness was 5 over 4, or 1.25. Okay, the next one, I did 0, 3, and I did 4.2, and I went down, change in y was -1, change in x was 4, so it ended up being -1 over 4, which is -0.25, which is a negative slope, and the steepness is 1 over 4, or 0.25, the absolute values. Now when I did the next one, I used the coordinates 1, 5, 2, 1, and I went down. The change in y was -4, and the change in x was 1. So it was -4 over 1 equals -4. The direction was negative, and the absolute value was 4. Then I went down here, and this is our vertical line. And from the previous page, we know that undefined is a vertical line, and the steepness is undefined. So this is 2, because the rise is 2, but it doesn't go over anywhere, so it's 2 over 0. Okay? You might have different numbers, but you should have had, the slope should have either simplified to the same. Okay? And any questions, please ask the teacher. And thanks for listening.